So, yeah, I'm back home. It was actually alright, coming back, it was better than I thought it was going to be. I had a bit of an issue, yesterday where I booked a hotel in. I went to Malpensa to kind of get a taxi over to the hotel because it was just a few miles out of the airport, and I couldn't pay for it because they'd only accept cash rather than the card. They said something like POS or something like that. I'm not sure what that is. But basically, I couldn't actually go. So I think they just cancelled it. Unfortunately, it was non-refundable. So yeah, great. But other than that, like once I actually booked my flight home, because I think at that point I was just like, yeah, like I'm just like I've done the cart event. I would have really liked to have gone to Maranello. That was something which I wanted to do. And I think there are certainly things which I'm like I wanted to go to see that, but there's always another time, I guess. The main thing was that I did the karting. I got there. I was able to do it. That's really what the focus of the holiday should be. And yeah, if it wasn't, if I wasn't able to race, then it shouldn't have been the focus. But obviously, I was, so it was the focus. And once it ended, the holiday ends. So yeah, here I am back home. I guess just reflecting on the whole, past few days, I guess it's just like, yeah, I'm really happy that things turned out all right. In the end of it, it's like I feel like I've been vindicated in a way. Just the whole story of like just why I went and like why I was there in the first place. The fact that I was mugged and was unable to go to the TV final, and so I moved the flight over to this weekend so that I could actually race. Well, not this weekend, but Thursday. But you get what I mean. It feels good. It really felt good. I was having a whole bunch of nerves flying for the first time. It wasn't my first time flying. It was my first time like on an actual kind of commercial airliner. So yeah, I kind of still had those like, oh my word, I'm flying. You got like, oh, okay, if things go wrong here, then it's customs for me and everything. But I think it kind of just went away the moment we started to fly. I think it just like once we took off from Birmingham, that was it. I was fine with flying at that point. I think that there are certainly things which I could have done better. I think the main issue for me with the trip was I had things planned. I kind of like had an idea on what I was doing or where I was going. It's just like I was kind of having things thrown, like wrenches thrown at me. It's like I went to heading to Ottobiano. I was like the idea was that I would travel to the closest town I could and then get a taxi over to just save me some money, I guess, because it's cheaper to get the train than just get a taxi and all the way over there. It's cheaper, it saves me money. And then I get to the place, Marte, I think it is, and I'm basically stranded there because the taxi it's so far out the taxis don't come, and neither do they go to Altabiano. It doesn't sound like, at least I kind of gathered that. Although the whole reason why I was able to leave the track in the first place after it finished was because of a taxi. I think there was a lady who, was kind of one of the staff members at the track, and they kind of called a taxi or something like that, and then I went off to Mortara to catch the train back to Milan and everything. So I'm not really exactly sure. Yeah, like it's like just that uncertainty was definitely a big issue. It's like buying train tickets. It's like, okay, so I need to validate this ticket. Do I need to validate it every station, or what have I done it right? Okay, I've scanned it, but do I need to do anything else? And then I was on the bus in Monza, and I thought, well, I've heard, I was doing a bit of research to see what you pay for, how do you pay and everything, and it's came across that, oh yeah, you can just pay contactless. You can just tap, you can just hop on the bus, go to this kind of contactless kind of payment thing, and off you go. You sorted. Turns out I tried doing that, and no. Thankfully, again, another lady, she actually gave me some of her money to pay for the fee. Yeah, it's just kind of those things where things just don't go the way you planned it. Just again, just have a spanner thrown at you. When you get everything planned, and there's no real alternative to it. I can't go to Altabiano by train. It's too far out. There is no station at Altabiano. I have to get a taxi. I can only go and get a train to go to this town and then get a taxi. That's the only way I can get there, other than driving. And I don't have a driving license, so, but then, of course, I'm told that, well, no, the taxis don't go that far. Now about that whole incident at Marte, yeah, I'm not sure if it was it's too far out to collect me, or it's too far out, the destination is too far out. I don't get that. But yeah, I mean, it's something to kind of look at, something to go over, I guess, and see if there's anything I can do better next time. But yeah, there was basically kind of locals there who really did help me out. It's they tried calling taxis. They actually kind of helped me pay for a bus ticket. But unfortunately, there was no buses that evening. And eventually, it got to the point where two girls actually kind of took me to the hotel, because at that point it was way too late to get Friday was basically just me trying to get to the track. I mean, okay, I went over to Monza, and yeah, that was, I think that was another kind of hard kind of pill to swallow, is that I went over to Monza just to kind of look at the old track and just walk around, I guess. And then I just kind of reached I get to the point where you basically kind of, I'm heading towards Parabolica in the park, in Monza Park, and basically they said you can't go further than this, unfortunately. They've got work going on, or I'm not exactly, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think they just something was going on, so they kind of blocked it. They kind of blocked the path. So I only kind of got a view of the oval, like the bridge of the oval, I guess. And that was it. And then it decided to pour with rain, and basically all of my clothes, which I took in my suitcase, were now soaked. They were damp, so yeah, that was another bad thing. What else is there to talk about? So yeah, these two girls kind of took me to Ottaviano. The hotel is really nice. Like it's like for like the facilities and everything. Like it's dirt cheap. Like it's such a nice place. Um, yeah, I mean, I would have really liked to have kind of walked around the town itself, like Ottaviano itself, because it's a really nice town. Like it looked like, you know how you got those really nice like European villages in which like you have like rallies running through. It's kind of like that. It's like one of those really like it's a kind of I would say it's like medieval almost. You know, it's like very rural. It's very kind of it's a beautiful place. You know, the whole area around there is beautiful. Um, so yeah, but unfortunately, by the time I got there, you know, when these two girls kind of helped me out and got me over there, it was too late to go to the track to kind of start getting things sorted for me to race and everything. Because again, a reminder, I didn't have a team. Yeah, I didn't have a team. I was going on the holiday without knowing that I was racing. So my plan was like, okay, I'll just go to Ottaviano anyway, and if I can't race, then I'll just spectate or whatever, or go to Plan B and just kind of go to Maranello and just like make a holiday out of it, I guess, like without going to the track, without racing. Or if I am racing, then I'll just do that and then go back home, I guess. But yeah, unfortunately, yeah, Friday I got there Friday evening and it was too late. Thankfully they got there in time for me to check in because I think it was very close to the deadline which you had to check in. It was about 8 o'clock, I think. We arrived there 7:50 or something like that. Yeah, it was a really nice place, and yeah, like if I'm going again next year, because I think yeah, like I want to do this thing again, you know, next year or hell, I mean, you got the final, so you know, I can do this 2 times next year. We'll wait and see. But yeah, like if I'm going to Ottaviano, if I'm racing Ottaviano again, I'm going to that hotel again because it's a nice place. It's really nice. The other hotel which I was at, which was like the hotel I was at on Thursday, basically dirt cheap, like 21, I think it was 21 euros, I think, or £21. I can't remember, but it was around that price. And yeah, it was basically a shared bedroom, right? I had one, I had a bed, and then you had other people who came to the hotel with their own beds, and it was just yeah, like it was kind of like a communal thing, I guess. And it was all right. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it gives me like something to sleep in, which is all I really asked for. Like just flying over to Milan that day was just shelter, just like okay, I'm here now. Let's kind of find somewhere to sleep for today, and then yeah, then we'll sort things out tomorrow. But yeah, I think once I got like the hang of things, I think yeah. Other than the fact that the taxis were just like the taxis really let me down. I think like over the past few days, like they're just yeah. I think like definitely next time if I go, I'm probably taking cash because it's stupid, you know. Like I understand, you know, like cash should absolutely be an option. That it should absolutely be an option, and um, yeah. I mean, I didn't have a card or anything like that when I started having my money and so forth. So I was like solely reliant on paying with cash. So I can understand the frustration of like people who use cash and all that and not contactless payments, but it's also just as annoying when like you have people who require cash rather than card. You know, they can't pay cash. No, they can't. It goes both ways. You either can't pay with cash or you can't pay with card. You know, it's like no, they should be a choice. You should absolutely have the choice to pay card or cash. You know, you can't exclude one person or another because they just have a different payment method. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I think once I go to Italy, I'll probably just deposit some money, try and transfer it over into euros and all that. On the race itself, I think I think kind of just analyzing the kinds of drivers that were there, like just like looking at their outfits, looking at their suits, it's like, yeah, I'm up against some pretty big competition here. So we're not winning this, of course. Yeah, so my team was just kind of made up of, you know, a whole bunch of guys. You know, like we were basically just clobbered together because we were all trying to find a team. So we're just like, yeah. So I come to the track, Saturday morning, and I'm just like, I don't have a team. I need this thing and this thing and this thing done, you know, and all this, and they really did help. You know, like TB really did help. The organisers really did help there. I just would have liked if things were sorted earlier because I tried to sort them out, but I didn't receive any kind of reply to my emails and all that. So, but once we got it done, it was all fine. Although it was a bit scary though, because I don't know my debit card PIN because I never use the bank. I never have to type it in, so it's like I just don't know it. The day, like Friday, my credit card kind of company, you know, the people who supply my kind of credit card, they said, "Oh, do you want to increase your limit?" I said yes. So I got free kind of, yeah, I got free money essentially. And if it wasn't for that, I don't know if I'd be able to race because, you know, it wasn't contactless. You couldn't just tap and pay. You had to put in the PIN. I tried with the debit card. I tried remembering, but it wasn't gonna happen. And even if I transferred that money over to my credit card, you know, it'd still take 2 days for it to actually register on the card. You know, it's like you pay. Yeah, you pay 2 days before it actually, you know, is available to you. So I was really lucky with that. So the race itself, we were pretty slow, right? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We were pretty slow compared to the other guys, but the other guys are just like, yeah, like I mean, I think Dennis Hollow was there, and he actually won the TB final, I think last year. So yeah, like he's kind of probably one of the best in the world. So I mean, like just keeping up with them is enough, I would say. Just like actually kind of, I overtook a few people, and that's for me enough. Like it is demoralizing when you're getting passed over and over again, but it's like there's not really much I can do. I did have a scare in the first stint when I kind of went wide. I just kind of abandoned my attempt at making the corner. I decided, okay, I'm not making this, so I might as well just cut the track and kind of just, rejoin and regain my composure. I went flying, like completely, all four wheels off the ground. And what that did was throw some of the weight, because I had maximum weight. To get near the weight limit, I had all the available weight I could. The two heaviest ones, which are kind of blue. So you got like yellows were the smallest, red was the medium, and then blue was like the largest. So I think 10 kilograms were the blue ones were 10 kilograms each. So these 10 kilogram weights fly out of the thing which they were put in, and they're on the side of the track. And I'm just trying to point to the marshals. There's debris on the track. Well, it's the side of the track, but it's like it's clearly visible. You could see it like going through the section. I actually had a radio installed. We had a radio, so I could talk to my team whilst I was racing out. And I was trying to contact them, like, I've lost some weight. Do I have to pit? Do I need to like pit? Are we gonna have a penalty or something? Thankfully we didn't. And so I was just really worried about that. And what I think happened was the same time as like in the same jump, one of the earpieces kind of tore off of my balaclava, or just kind of like came undone, I guess. So basically, I was only hearing them from the other ear, I think, and that's kind of what happened. And yeah, we didn't use the comms after that. We just kind of. We used my flag, so whenever we needed to pit, or when it was a time to pit, they would fly my flag, the Warwickshire flag, indicating that, okay, go around for one more lap and then come in. So, like, once you see us again, pit. This is your last lap around. So we did it that way afterwards. But I mean, I would say I think compared to the BUKC 24 and this one, I'd say I probably did better in this one. Like the circumstances are still pretty similar to the BUKC 24, where we're kind of in the lower midfield. We're kind of like we're one of the slower guys. We're kind of amateurs compared to these actual professionals, I guess. Like these really serious guys and people who like. I mean, I think even I even saw a suit suggesting like some guy was like racing in like a world karting championship. So, like WKC, I think. I don't know. But yeah, like the grid was absolutely stacked with talent. I think my main kind of pet peeve though was bumping. I don't know when, but I'm probably going to upload my stints because, I was able to record every single stint, which I did. And you'll notice I get kind of angry sometimes. I don't know if that's because of tiredness or just general frustration. But yeah, like I especially got mad when people started to bump me, or like basically they were using me as a brake. That's what I got annoyed at, is where like it's so clearly blatant. Like I understand, like I'm kind of braking a bit earlier than they are. It's natural. They're probably gonna bump into me from time to time. I understand that, but then there's that, and then there's literally kind of bumping into someone just because you feel like it, I guess. Like, just because, hurry up, that kind of thing. Um, one guy did it, and then I kind of do the same to him, and he had a massive kind of, like, tantrum because I did it. It's like, well, you did the same to me, so why would you do it to someone else? It's, common knowledge, I guess, but yeah, there are some moments where I got very angry, especially the last hour, because one of our drivers was involved in an incident, which actually got the race red flagged. The race was suspended for a time being because, yeah, like we went. I think I remember the engines just going completely silent. Like, it was completely silent. I'm just like, wait, I should be hearing engines by now. And then there's just like this whole kind of commotion and like, wait, what's going on here? So I went up to the track. I was in the paddock. I was in the tent. Our tent, I guess. I walked over to the pit straight just to see what was happening, and yeah, there was some damage to a wall. Clearly needed to be kind of fixed, and an ambulance as well. And as it turns out, one of our drivers was one of the people involved. I think it was two people involved, and he came out, I think, worse. He actually had to be on a stretcher. So, I didn't actually know what happened to him after that. I did ask at the end of the race, like, what's the condition on him, and they said he's fine. He's poorly, but he's fine. That's basically what I was told. So I don't know what happened. But yeah, that was pretty much my race, really. It was pouring with rain in the last few hours, and I just wanted to get it home, I guess. And when you have people just like kind of bumping into you, like especially in the weather which we were in the final hour, like because the guy crashed, like I had to jump in. Well, the plan was that I was already going to finish the race. He was kind of he had the penultimate stint, and I was going to come in anyway. I was going into the car anyway. I was going to finish anyway, but because he crashed, we didn't have the kind of So I think there was like an hour and 7 minutes left of the race. So I was kind of worried and like, well, do I have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race? And I eventually decided, okay, you know what, we're gonna take a penalty, because the whole thing was that you needed to pit for both fuel and driver. Every time you went in the pits, you had to change a driver. Otherwise, you get like kind of 2 laps deduction or something like that, like a 2-lap penalty. Unfortunately, yeah, I had to take it because like it's either that or I'm running out of fuel. So yeah, I just took it. It didn't affect anything really. But yeah, like that rain was like one of the worst I've ever had. Like it was bad, very bad. Like it wasn't even karting; it was boating at that point. We're practically just like we're on water basically. In some of the corners. So so when you have conditions like that, especially after you've had like an incident which is like red flag the race, you think that people will calm down and just kind of like give each other a bit of room and just like not do any of this stuff. They go ahead and do this stuff. They go ahead and kind of bump you a little bit, here and there, and it's just like, Why are you doing this? Like, it's already hazardous enough with these conditions. Do you really have to make it even worse? You know, it's like, well, maybe the reason why our teammate was wrecked and he was injured was primarily because someone just could not bother braking earlier and just like taking their time to pass us. You know, it just, yeah, like just look, I understand, like, if they accidentally outbreak themselves and all that, I get that. But then there's, like, that, and then there's intentionally just kind of doing it. I don't think it's right at all. So you'll see the footage, which I'll probably upload sooner or later. I get pretty mad in the frontal stint because, well, yeah, I've just seen my teammate on a stretcher who was covering for me, basically. You know, he was in the car before me. That could have been me, you know. So yeah, I guess I was definitely just like in the mindset of, I just want to get this done and over. I just want to finish this race. And then you just have people just kind of just, yeah. But we finished. And that was that. I had to get a taxi because everyone just like went very quickly. Unfortunately, there was kind of a misunderstanding. I thought that one of the teams, which was also from Britain, like I'd be able to like ride along with them for the rest of, you know, wherever they were going, I guess. And I'd spend the next few days with them. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So I was basically stuck at the track, and and it took that nice lady to call the taxi. Again, I don't know how. I thought the whole point. I thought the taxi said that they didn't go to Ottopiano. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. But yeah, I got the taxi. I got the train. Obviously, I messed up with a hotel. I had to sleep, basically, in Terminal 2. Well, to be honest, I didn't really have much sleep. Like, throughout the weekend, I guess. Yeah, basically, aside from, like, short, like, 1-2 hour periods of sleep, nothing. Nothing since the start of the race. So, yeah. I have been kind of dozing off a little bit over this past day, so, yeah, I'll probably end this and immediately go to sleep, because I feel like it. But, yeah, that was really all I have to say. For the time being, you know, just kind of more reflecting on things, and yeah, I definitely don't think this will be the last time I do this. You know, it's just kind of weird. Like, it feels like, you know, because I've always kind of stayed, you know, in this country. Of course, I've never gone abroad. It's like I've only ever viewed, you know, staying here and going to places which are primarily in this country. But now with my passport, it's like it is genuinely just like it's very like completely new places now, which is something very exciting. So yeah, there you go. That was kind of me reflecting on these past couple of days, and yeah, phone was definitely another issue, especially with charging, because they have different kind of power, you know, different plugs than us. So I was supposed to carrying out my like the iPhone charger, like, or USB port, whatever. to kind of charge up my phone. So whenever there was like kind of a USB port somewhere, I would just use it. Unfortunately, of course, over the course of the day, kind of the battery runs out, and yeah. But thankfully today, I bought a kind of the Italian plug. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna get it because I need it. Um, yeah. It's about like it's just like I could have probably bought one like the on Thursday night, but I just didn't. Which was a mistake on my part in hindsight. I should have really bought it earlier. But then again, it's like I kind of expected there to be more USB ports and so forth around, but no, it's yeah. But other than that, I think that's really all I have to say. This certainly won't be the last time I'll be going to a foreign country. And let's see what happens next year in regards to kind of TB and their events. Will I go to the final next year? Will I go to 24 again next year? I don't know, but I'm certainly considering it. But yeah, this kind of feels like a vindication of like just yeah. It feels good to like go to the track after everything that has happened over the past few months, where I got mugged and lost everything. A week before I was going to the event, I tried desperately to try and go, and unfortunately it didn't happen. That really sucked. That really kind of I didn't take that great. I didn't take it great at all. So I feel like here it was just kind of like I've kind of made up for missing out on the final, and I've experienced it. I've experienced going to Italy, experienced going to a foreign country. So yeah, it's been a great few days. And who knows? I mean, now I have a job. Yes, I have a job now. I don't think I've actually told you guys that. Yes, I do have a job, so I actually have more money now. Definitely looking at making my Club 100 debut. We'll wait and see. Maybe I'll do it at Wilton. Depends on how much money I have. I don't have that much left, to be honest. Like, if I paid for Wilton, it'll be really cutting it short, I think. But, knowing me, I'll probably just take it. Oh, yes, I will absolutely race, regardless of the financial consequences of this decision. But, there you go. A lot of fun these past couple of days, and a lot of fun is going to be had, from now on. So, yeah, thank you for listening to this little ramble. Bit incoherent, but hey ho, it's one of these rambly things where I could just get everything off my chest. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.